Hey everybody and welcome back. It's time to jump back into some Final Fantasy VI. Today we are going to be wrapping up some of the very last things that we need to take care of in the World of Ruin before charging into the final dungeon. So we are going to start off, if you didn't see, by hopping back into the Phoenix Cave for the third time. This is not something that I recommend doing or enjoy doing. There are definitely better ways to take care of the Phoenix Cave. I mean, realistically, you could do this in 2 trips. That's about the fastest, though. Either way, doesn't matter. We'll skip ahead because what we're here for is the Red Dragon. I'm gonna just grab this treasure first, but we won't really use it. Anyway, the Red Dragon here... Red, fire, makes sense, right? So this fight's actually pretty easy, even without any kind of, ridiculous tactics. If you set everybody up to be either immune to or have absorption for fire attacks, you can pretty much just take care of this guy. I brought Setzer with because I wanted to show off the fixed dice. I don't think they trigger any ridiculous amounts of damage here, but this is one of the ways that we can actually do some decent damage even at low levels in this challenge. Terra and Celis actually are not resistant to fire, so they'll take a little bit of damage, but they'll be fine. I mean, we have life 3. And then Mog has max defense, so if he gets attacked physically, he doesn't take any damage. Mog and Setzer will absorb fire damage, so we're pretty much kitted out. The Red Dragon uses fire attacks, and then also uses just physical attacks. There's not much left at this point as far as challenge goes for these little mini bosses, these dragons. So we just want to come in here, do the same thing as usual, quick, Ultima, and drop him like that. After killing the Red Dragon, we're going to learn a little bit of magic, which is cool, that's whatever, but also we're going to get a Strato or Strato, another weapon that we won't really make much use of. Got another dragon on the list. We skipped this one when we were upgrading our Esper Odin to Raiden so that we could learn quick. This one is the Blue Dragon, and in this specific case, blue means water, and again, as long as you have the right gear, you can set yourself up to be pretty much invincible or invulnerable here. We're going to stick to what works for us, so we're going to quick, get life 3 on everybody, get haste on everyone, and then I brought Gogo with this time because we'll be able to do some fun things with Gogo. Gogo's Mimic ability is pretty handy. It'll just basically do whatever Gogo saw the last person do. One way that you can kind of use this pretty well is Gogo doesn't have to have an economizer to cast Ultima without an MP cost if Gogo's just copying someone else who did. So what we do is we have Terra with the gem box and the economizer cast Ultima and then quick. And then, Terra will use Ultima a whole bunch, but what Gogo does is copies what Gogo just saw, and that's Ultima and then quick, and then we use Bum Rush twice because Gogo can learn anything. So, pretty cool. Doesn't really matter, but we got another dragon down, 2 left. The last ones are in Kefka's tower. I am going to grab a quick monster in a box here on the way out, and this is not necessary, but this is a Master Pug in this game. You might know them as Tonberries in newer games. These guys they're kind of little buttholes, so they counter, I would say, almost every attack. If they have the ability to counter, they will counter it with Traveler, which will just kill whoever it hits, and it's not avoidable. There you go. See, there goes Terra with 2,300 damage, so, and Gogo. So we just want to make sure that we keep life 3 on everybody, and then we want to pump out as much damage in as few attacks as possible to just limit the amount of times that the Master Pug uses Traveler, because it will just kill us every single time. It also has that wall change ability that we've seen a couple times where, it has a weakness, a specific element, and it absorbs, other stuff, but we don't really care about that. Ultima's non-elemental, so our goal is just to kind of keep everybody alive and hit it with Ultima a whole bunch. I forgot to put an economizer on Mog here. I didn't change his gear out, so I had him dance, which is completely useless, but changes the background, so that's fun. And then we get a knife, another piece of gear for our collection that we will never use, and then we're going to move on to some just side quests. And these actually won't get us any gear, but I think they're interesting enough to go and just do them. They don't take very long, so here we go. This is the man that Sabin visited in the World of Balance. When we talked to him last time, he wanted us to do like all kinds of repairs on his house and talked about throwing a demon child onto the Veldt. And now we're finding out, that this is definitely Gao's father. And Gao is like, okay. And Sabin is really involved in this. Like, he wants to make sure that Gao is presentable. So we're going to go to Jadur, and, that's a fancy opera house-ish area, rich mansion-y land. And first, we're going to start by trying to teach Gao some table manners, which doesn't go well. Don't eat with your fingers. And he goes, oh. And yeah. So I'm going to try to catch up with this and keep going with the text here, but this gets really ugly. So here's Terra. How do you like these? Wait, what about those? Oh well. Okay, that's Terra. And then Terra says, did you say something? No, nothing. So who's saying that? And then Celis says, which is it going to be? Oh, this is nice. Well, and then Celis says, what? And there's nothing. What a jaunty hat. Not at. Wait a minute, where's the hat? ... This is it, me go to funeral, Sabin says, not Gao. Perfect, functional yet sporty, Sabin says. I don't think... Phew, Setzer says, completely lacking in fashion. So Setzer orders clothes for Gao that look like his. That was an absolute abomination of text there, and I'm sorry if you missed anything, but I'm not sure how to help you, because it's ugly. Anyway, we're going to take Gao back. He's all dressed up. He's wearing a nice jacket. I think he has like a yellow little bow tie there. Fancy lad. And we come back and we talk to this guy, and we say, hey, you had a son, right? You with me? Well, here's your son. This is Gao. And Gao squeaks out a little, father. And the aged man seems to have amnesia or just disbelieves us. But then he talks about this dream that he had about a demon child being born. And he grabbed the demon child, the creature, ran off to the Veldt. The thing was crying in his arms the whole time. Sabin tries to interrupt him, but he keeps going on here. He says he left the child there. And without looking back, he turned and started to run. But... Then, in the next sentence, he's going to say, suddenly he turned around and saw a frightful monster. So, yeah. So this guy definitely just chucked Gao onto the Veldt and left him there. That's very sad, but he says, but your parents must be really proud of you, kid. You're a great young man. And Sabin's all pissed off and wants to beat him up, and Gao's like, no, don't do that. And he's just going to step outside, because, I mean, it's a little sad. So we'll follow Gao outside, and Gao will just have a couple of words to say here. Sabin apologizes for threatening to kill Gao's dad. And, Gao is just happy that his father is alive. Yeah, no hurt feelings or no harm, no foul, I guess, for whatever reason. Gao's just happy that his dad's here, so... Very cool. Next up, we have another story, and this is Shadow. And I think I talked about this a little bit before. Shadow has different dreams throughout the world of Balance and Ruin. You can get these in the world of Balance. I just find it's easier and more reliable to do it in the world of Ruin all in one shot than just try to randomly get them. So in this first one here, we see this roguish-looking person. Clyde, I'm done for. Find me here, please, Clyde. This is Baram or Baram. And Clyde is the guy with the cape down there. Very fashionable-looking gentleman. And this, from the audio, just seems kind of like a nightmare. There's no real explanation. This is the first of the 5 dreams, and we'll get all of them in here. That's all we get. So let's hop into the second one here. So dream number 2. This looks like the Phantom Forest, and we see Clyde and Baram. Yahoo, we did it, Clyde. 1,000,000 GP, what a blast. So these guys just committed a train robbery, and they robbed the train for 1,000,000 gold. And now they're going to change their thievy group name to Shadow. Great train robbers of the century, the Shadow Bandits. Very interesting. Dream number 3. Things didn't go so well after a job. We see Barham is lying on the ground. Clyde's trying to get him up, tell him that he's going to be all right. And then we'll see, this kind of looks like the Veldt. This looks like what we saw when we jumped off of Barren Falls. And Barham is talking about how he knows he's not going to make it. He's lost too much blood. He tells Clyde to leave, to get out before they get caught. And before Clyde goes, Barham wants him to like put him out of his misery or to, just kill him. He's afraid of what might happen if he gets caught. So Clyde walks back and looks down. Barham mocks him for being a coward, like, do him this last justice, and Clyde says, I can't. And then he runs away. And Barham is left there bleeding out on the edge of the Veldt here as Clyde apologizes and leaves. How dare you? Not good. Number 4. Here we go. He's like limping into a town. This is what the screen looks like when you're poisoned. We're supposed to see here that he's like dying. Interceptor is barking for help. He's just kind of stumbled into this town, and this woman has made her way over and is trying to like keep him awake. And he asks where they are, where he's made his way to. And seems like he's kind of falling. A small village called Tama. Oh, there he goes. That's the end of that one. And then this was from earlier. This is the 5th dream if you're following the sequence. He's up and moving around. He's walking out of what looks like Realm and Strago's house. And Interceptor stops him. He says he's not coming back. He wants you and the girl to live in a peaceful world. But Interceptor doesn't stay with the girl. So what we're supposed to gather from all this is kind of Shadow's backstory. He was a train robber. Went on a job, went wrong. He probably was rescued and fell in love with Realm's mother, and he is Realm's father. Very, very interesting, and something that you're not necessarily ever told. So I think that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Doomgaze. This boss is a pain in the butt to find more than anything, because he's on a random tile somewhere on the world map. You can find him at any point once you have the airship in the World of Ruin. And if you accidentally find him when you're not expecting him, that can be a giant pain in the butt. He will cast level 5 Doom, which we don't have anybody that is at a level increment of 5, so it doesn't matter to us. He can also use Arrow, and just, he's kind of a pain. The worst part about him, though, is that he runs away after you deal some damage to him a lot. And then you have to go hunt him down, and there's no real good way to do that. You just hop in the airship and turn yourself ever so slightly to one side and just hold down the button until you find him. This is the first time I think I've ever gotten through Doomgaze in just 2 fights. That's pretty quick. Normally this takes a little while because he can run away, when he wants to. He doesn't recover any HP between fights though, so usually it's just a matter of chasing him down and putting him down. He's weak against fire, and I did try that in the first fight, though it didn't do anything compared to Ultima, which I shouldn't be surprised, but I did check it out anyway. And then other than that, our tactics are kind of the same. I actually went a little light on getting life 3 on people because I was more concerned with trying to get him knocked out fast. Like, he's not so much of a threat that I'm worried about a party wipe, but he is a giant inconvenience to chase around. So that was kind of my thought process, and it actually worked out really well. After that fight, we cut to the deck of the airship as a Magicite comes flying down. Pretty cool. A piece of Magicite popped out of Doomgaze's mouth. Unfortunately, Bahamut will probably not get used in the next couple of episodes as we wrap things up. So we're getting to the end. If you want to see Kefka's Tower and how we finish things up, make sure you subscribe for me. Drop me a comment if you have anything you want me to know. I will see you in the next one.